you. I'm just going to make two very brief retorts. Number one, tax increase for the Lower Mainland over this term is a lie. That is not true. It is a lie. And I wish the council would stop lying to the public about that. Record tax.
Mayor Johnstone, there's a point of order that's been called
for this term. That lie. And I wish
Mayor
the council would stop lying to the public about those facts.
Sorry, Mayor Johnstone, there's been a point of order called. If you could just pause for a minute and. Councillor Fontaine, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start off by saying that I will not be supporting this proposal that has been put on the floor today. I will acknowledge the fact that we did at one point early in the mandate of this council, there was an attempt to establish a finance and audit committee here. That was voted down. And the finance and audit committee, which is pretty standard in most organizations, would have an opportunity for members of council to weigh in terms of some of the priorities and things that should be and should not be included into the budget. We're now facing the reality that we have nearly, I believe, if not over now, 1,700 employees and growing. We have, as I've referred to it, from my perspective, a lot of managers who are managing consultants. That is a fact from my perspective. Others may not agree, but that is the perception, and that is in many cases the reality here at City Hall. We are looking at a 5.6% tax increase this year when you incorporate the 1% levy. That is, by any account, from what going back as far as I can find, a record level of property tax increase. Not something that you want to put on a bumper sticker, or not something that I don't think we should be particularly proud of. 30% is what we're looking at this term. We still have a 3.5% climate action tax, levy, fee, whatever you want to call it. We haven't found a way of removing that in 4 years, and that's being, green energy is being taxed to the tune of 3.5%. This budget, as far as I can see, includes more funding for things like rewilding. I didn't see a mushroom wall in there, but perhaps it's buried within the budget. And there are a lot of things in here that simply are not aligned with current taxpayer priorities. We are, again, and I'll reiterate, we are likely going to be the #1 position for property tax increases in the entire metro region over this 4 years. #1. And I agree we need more investments on the front line. We need more investments for employees and people who are taking out the trash, cleaning up streets, doing the kind of stuff frontline that people see and feel every day. And that's not what I feel that this budget is doing. I'm also very concerned about the emphasis on reserves this year, going into an election year. We are dipping into the tune of $2.6 million into the piggy bank, into our reserves, to bring down the base tax below 5%. I'm deeply concerned about that. And I'm also, in closing, very concerned about the fact that we had an opportunity earlier today, and there was a distinct lack of interest based on the vote, to look at trying to find another $1.5 million, which I believe would have been another 1% reduction in costs, in savings to the city in order to reduce the tax burden. And council saw it appropriate not to even support that opportunity to look at additional savings over the next 30 days. So I think I speak on behalf of a lot of taxpayers who are looking at this budget today and are looking at their wallets and their purses and saying 30%, 4 years. And that is what we will be going back to the people out into the community as a track record of this administration over 4 years. And I will not be supporting the budget as presented. Thanks.
Mayor Johnstone, you have the mic. Johnstone's there.
Thank you. I'm just going to make two very brief retorts. #1, tax increase for the Lower Mainland over this term is a lie. That is not true. It is a lie. And I wish the council would stop lying to the public about that. Record tax.
Mayor Johnstone, there's a point of order
Increase
that's
over
been
time
called.
for this term, that lie. And I wish
Mayor
the councillor would
Johnstone,
stop lying to the
can you
public
hear me?
about those facts.
Sorry, Mayor Johnstone, there's been a point of order called. If you could just pause for a minute, and Councillor Fontaine, I'll turn your mic on. There you go.
Madam Chair, my expectation would be that as chair, when a member of council refers to someone else in this chamber as a liar, that the chair would call that as out of order, and I would consider that as unparliamentary language, and I would request that you ask the mayor to not refer to other members of council as liars, which he has done multiple times.
Noted. Mayor Johnstone, you have the floor again.
I have not referred to anyone as a liar. I have mentioned there are clear lies being told. Now, I will retract the term lie. I will say these are terminological inexactitudes. These are falsehoods. These are terms being used without meaning and without connection to reality. So I will leave it at that. Thank you very much for this work.
Okay, thank you. So I will share some remarks. No, so I'm comfortable with this balance. And again, I really thank staff for bringing this forward numerous times in a way that has given us opportunity to contribute. So I'm going to call the question, and it's the, I don't know if the motion's behind me on the screen, but it's the, in the report that was presented to us, in addition to the amendment that was made earlier about staff from Century House. So all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so it has passed with councillors Fontaine and Minhas opposed.